Imagine being diagnosed with diabetes in 1919. For a child, it was a death sentence, often within a year. For adults, a slow, wasting decline. There was no insulin, there were no real options. The only treatment was a starvation diet, a grim countdown that bought a little time but offered no hope. Then, almost overnight, everything changes. This is the story of the race for insulin and how it transformed medicine forever. By the turn of the 20th century, scientists knew the pancreas was the key. They understood it produced an internal secretion that controlled blood sugar, but isolating it was like catching smoke. The organ's own digestive enzymes destroyed the precious substance the moment they tried to extract it. Enter Frederick Banting, a young surgeon with a radical idea, and Charles Best, his student assistant. They secured lab space from the skeptical Professor J.J.R. MacLeod, and were later joined by the brilliant biochemist James Collip, a small team with one audacious goal. In the summer of 1921, in a cramped Toronto lab, they began Banting's experiment, tying off the pancreatic ducts in dogs. The theory was that this would cause the enzyme-producing parts of the pancreas to wither away, leaving only the cells that produce the elusive hormone, which they could then safely extract. After countless failures, they finally drew an extract. Crude, risky, but in diabetic dogs it worked. January 1922. Leonard Thompson, a 14-year-old boy dying from diabetes, receives the first human injections. The initial dose is too impure. He has a severe allergic reaction. It seems like another failure, but James Collip works frantically, using alcohol precipitation to refine the extract. 12 days later, they try again. The second dose is a miracle. Leonard's blood sugar plummets. His strength returns. For the first time in history, diabetes becomes a manageable condition, not an automatic death sentence. The news spreads like wildfire. Now the sprint to discover becomes a marathon to produce, scale up, or lose millions of lives. The Toronto team partners with the pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly. They move from dog pancreases to the pancreases of cows and pigs from slaughterhouses. Industrial production begins, creating millions of units of clearer, safer, and more consistent insulin. Across the Atlantic, Nordisk, which would later become Novo Nordisk, speeds up European supply, making the treatment truly global. For decades, this was the standard. Then came the next great leap.